We are going to use a Snowflake as our hands-on database and go to snowflake.com and click the Start Up for Free and to set up the free account and enter the first name, last name, email address, company, roles, and also the important part is the email address need to be a non-public email address, so no Yahoo, no Gmail. And company, you can specify whatever name you want to, and the role, specify whatever name you want to. So here I just specify the business executive and whatever the name, it doesn't matter. So click continue, and then you need to choosing the edition. So therefore, let's just simply use the standard one. So choose the standard one, and then you need to choose the platform, the cloud platform. So let's choose the AWS. Okay, and then you choose the region. So the default is fine, Oregon, and get started. So now, and then it's just optional things. You can either answer it or you can skip it. And then you simply skip it. So you don't really need to answer any of these questions. Just click submit. So it will send the email to the email address you specify. So making sure the email is a valid email. So here you can go to the documentation of the full Snowflake documentation set, including SQL menu. So now you go to your email account and then click the activate for the inside the email. And then you are going to specify your username and your password. So the username can only contain letters and numbers. And password just a letter and number, uppercase, lowercase, so according to the specifications. And repeat the password, confirm the password. Okay, so this, remember your username. And you may save your password as well, so therefore next time you don't have to remember it. So now you have set up the Snowflake, and then here is your login. And then on the left hand side, you have a data, you have a dashboard. So now you go to data. And by default, it always has a Snowflake database, and then you create one. So let's create a database called CSTU. You can create whatever name you want to. So I specify database name CSTU, and the comment, you can skip the comment. So, and then you just create a database. And then you can actually create a schema. And you specify the schema name, let's say database as a schema, and you can specify comment or it's optional. Then click create. So now you have a schema database created. So next we need to download a client. So it's a Snowflake client tools. And to find out the name is, the name actually called snowsql. So the Snowflake client is called snowsql. So it's a command line tools. So you just simply download the snowsql. So you search Google snowsql, and then snowsql download. Install snowsql. So you go into the install snowsql page and look up for your operating system. You can install Linux, Macs, and the Windows. So you just simply go to SnowSQL download page. Clicking on the SnowSQL download, and you're going to SnowSQL download page and choose your operating system. So my one is a Mac, so I just select the SnowSQL for Mac and download the SnowSQL. So download the installation files. So inside the download folder, it already have the SnowSQL download installation file. So just double clicking on it and then click continue and click install and enter the administrator password and then you click install. So it installs the SnowSQL for you. And remember, you may take a screenshot of this page. So as a syntax, how do you log in into the Snowflake of your account? Okay, so the Snowflake is actually installed inside on the Mac. Is installed inside the application folder. So there's a SnowSQL there. So you just simply double clicking on the SnowSQL icon, but you get an error message at the first time. The error message said the permissions you cannot. This is just a log file, the SnowSQL client log. So there is a solution inside the Stack Overflow. So you just need to inside the edit the Snowflake configuration file, config file, inside the .snowsql, inside your home folder, .snowsql folder, and inside there is a config file. Okay, you just VI it or edit it using your tools. If you're Windows, you want to do it with a notepad, and just simply copy this line and paste in at the end of the config file and save. Okay, so now you have set up the configurations, and then you just do display the file. So you notice the line, the log underscore file is already inserted there. So now you double clicking on this, it should work. But notice it gives you another error that you have a duplicate keyword at line 81. So then something wrong with the config file. So now let's take a look at it. So what have I done wrong? So that inside the config file. So we need to go back to the config file. So edit the config file. And we notice there is a log underscore file is already defined earlier. Okay, in line 81, it says this is a duplicate. So the same log underscore file is already appear earlier, right here. So you should only have one definition of the log underscore file. So simply comment or delete that additional log underscore file previously. Okay, so now you run this SnowSQL, you have no error. Okay, right? So now you have set up the SnowSQL client. Okay. All right. So next is going to log in into the Snowflake account using SnowSQL command line. Okay, so then it's not in the search path, so it's actually inside this complex path. So we need to insert that file into the dot profile. So inside this is a Mac, or in the Windows, you probably need to put into specify into the search path. So we need to add the path to the snowsql to specify inside the search path. Essentially, it's a path variable. So edit the dot profile. Okay, and then we need to define the export path again. Okay, so you don't specify snowsql, you just specify the path that contains the snowsql executable, but you cannot save it because that file has a root privilege. So we need to edit this file as a super user. That file is owned by the root. So therefore, we need to do a sudo vi.profile and enter the super user password. And do the same thing, insert export path equals to $path colon, and then a path to the snowsql executable. Do not include in snowsql file name. So this is a path. Now it's also inside the search path. And then you need to do a source. So you first confirm that path has been updated inside the profile. Okay, so now you have a path pointing to the path to the snowsql. Then you need to first update the environment variable, run the command called source. So now you can actually enter the snowsql, and it will find the snowsql for you, and without specifying a path. So now you are ready to connect and to your snowsql account. And to do that, you need to know the syntax. So I capture a screenshot. That syntax is snowsql-a account name -u login name. So we need to find out what is account name and what is a login name. So now I need to put it into a text file. Just capture all the get the account name, get the login name. So the syntax is supposed to be -a account name and -u login name. So we need to find out what is my account name and login name. And the snowsql all need to be lowercase. So this is snowsql client command line from terminal. So first, let's find out what is our account name. So what is my account name? So now let's go to the Snowflake, the web browser. Okay, and then you're looking into the URL. The account name is, in this cases, is actually SHB and followed by the numbers. Just copy this account name. So making sure your URL, if you register, will be very similar to this, but the account name will be different. So therefore, this is my account name. And what is my login name? Then you need to go to the profile. it will tell you what is my Snowflake username. So go to my user and click in the profile. Go to user and then click in the profile. And then the username is the login name. Right here. The username is the login name. So now you have every information needed in order to log on to the Snowflake. Okay? My command line will be Snowflake or snowsql -a and then this account name. And -u, so that will be the login name, the username. Okay, just copy and paste this command into the command line, command windows. Then paste the command, and press the enter key. So it looks like it connects. It asks me my password. So this is your password you originally created. Okay, so I'm successfully logging. Obviously, I have not specified any of the schema. So now going back, let's find the schema. Right. So one more thing. So we need to create a warehouse. So we have a schema right here. Okay. Right. So we can specify the schema. But one more thing before we can do anything, we need to create a warehouse. In the Snowflake concept, the warehouse is actually the compute unit. So therefore, any operation on the database, you need a warehouse to be specified. So you can create one, but the warehouse costs money. But obviously, our account is free, so we just simply but the credit is fixed. So we want to use the smallest, the cheapest option of the warehouse, which is the x-small. Each hour takes 1 credit. I believe each free account comes with a 400 credit. So we need to give a name for the warehouse when you create. So the name I choose is a WH specify warehouse for Tableau. And then click create warehouse. You don't need to specify any optional. Okay, so now you have a warehouse created called WH for Tableau. So now you're going back to the Snowflake command line and logging into Snowflake using snowsql -a, account name -u, username, and press enter key and enter your password. Okay, so you have logging your Snowflake account. Okay, so now let's do something. We can show databases. It will display all the databases currently inside the Snowflake. And it looks like we have 3, and one of them is called CSTU. And also we can say show schema. It will have a lot of building schema, but we want to use the one we create called database. Now we need to use the schema, the CSTU dot database. So now you just set up your default schema, okay? And now you can ready to create a table and insert rows inside. So therefore, to do a test, we create a table called X with 2 columns, A and B. So each the data type for each of the column is an integer. So just for the test. So now we have created a table called X, right? And then we can say show tables. Then you should see the table X is right there. Now you can insert just try to insert some row to see if it works, right? So therefore you can enter insert into X. and the values, let's say insert the rows 1, 1. So A1, B is 1. So but it does not let you insert because you have not specified the active warehouse. But we have created a warehouse called WH for Tableau. So we just need to specify and to specify that warehouse as an active warehouse. The command is use warehouse, specify the warehouse name. Okay, so now you have an active warehouse called WH for Tableau, and then you can try to insert again. It lets you insert, so your insert is successful, and you can run a commit to make it permanent, and then you can run a select to see whether or not the value is already inside. So now you have the row has been selected. So that concludes